Hello and welcome back to Uefa TV. This is your host Omar speaking. In today's third video of the day, yes, I don't think I've done this in a long time, but today's third video of the day is about Uefa's league ranking. Apparently, they've released a new listing and have ranked Europe's top 5 leagues in a whole different light, with the Belgian Pro League actually making it into 5th spot and the French League sinking downwards. But what really caught my eye was the fact that Serie A is now ranked second. Now, if you look at this as a fan who actually follows most of Europe's big leagues and has context and understanding over how the competitions actually progress in terms of the level of competition itself, you'll understand how much sense this makes. Now, for further context, this list is supposedly comprised or composed and put together based on how well the teams in these leagues are doing on a European level in terms of European competitions. Italian teams have done quite well, especially last season, where an Italian team has reached the final of each of Europe's 3 main club competitions. And to say that Serie A isn't improving or on the way up despite the difficulties they have, in Italy financially, the league is struggling and has been for a very long time in terms of the marketing and advertising aspects, in terms of the broadcasting rights. It's not, it doesn't have the same level of viewership. It doesn't have the same level of attention that it once had. But on a grassroots level, it's still moving up a little, bit by bit. See it ranked second does my heart proud. And I'll tell you why. Because in England, it's basically been a one-horse race in the league for quite a while, on and off, but primarily it has. In the Bundesliga, don't even get me started on that one. There hasn't been much competition in the Bundesliga for over 10 years. In La Liga, the only usurpers that have been present, or disruptors, as I like to call them, have been Atletico, winning 2 league titles out of the last 10, I think. And then you have, Ligue 1, which is dominated by Qatari-owned PSG, and it's already sunk. And then you look at the Belgian Pro League and pay close attention to how it ended last season with one of the most emphatic league title victories I think I've ever seen in my life. Now, again, in terms of how their teams have done in European competition, Serie A is warranted that second spot. And in terms of the competition in and of itself within the league, with Napoli having won this past season's league title, Milan having won last season's, Juve winning the season before that, and it looks like we may even be looking at a team that hasn't won the league title in a while winning next season if Napoli do crumble, or we may see Milan or Inter clinch it. Oh, excuse me. Before Milan won it, it was Inter, and before Inter won it, it was Juventus. Sorry about that one. Conte's Inter, obviously winning the league to deny Juventus's long streak of league title wins. Excuse that mistake. It won't happen again. Anyways, Serie A continues to be one of Europe's prime competitions based on the fact that it is ever changing, ever evolving, and it continuously seems to shift. People forget how horrible it is to have a one-horse race in a league where your team just constantly wins the league title. It does your league and it does your country's footballing evolution more harm than good. Provides players with much less competition. There's much less flexibility, much less space for opportunity. And I think that as long as a higher standard is always required from a one club league, and I'm looking primarily at League One because France's Ligue 1 has been one of Europe's top 5 leagues for a very long time, and to see them sink off is self-explanatory. It really is, and I can't fault UEFA for that. I do believe, however, that the future of football, if we continue moving in this particular direction, where every league becomes a one horse race, we're in trouble, you know? But back to Serie A. We've seen clubs go back and forth across the past season in particular, just to push up to the Champions League spots. There seems to be more competition in Italy, more, you know, more grinta, so to speak. There's been less consistency in terms of, how do I say this? You know, whenever you watch something and it constantly keeps moving back and forth in terms of points, wins and losses, drama, and particularly the drama that has ensued between Roma and Lazio, for instance, Inter and Milan, in the battle for Champions League spots overall, it's been quite dramatic, and that kind of drama yields a better, it yields better fruit. It yields more curiosity from the fan bases, from the respective fan bases of each of these clubs, more frustration, the kind that makes you want to pay attention. Maybe a couple of health issues here and there, because Lord knows watching your favorite club can do that to you sometimes. But overall, it provides more excitement, more intensity. The better the competition, the more intense, the more suspenseful it gets, the better the viewership, the better the reviews, better the reactions. I'm not going to say reviews because it's not a wrestling event, but the better the reactions, the better the overall reactions. You start feeling like, hey, we've got a chance in this. It seems to be looking up for Serie A. Calcio may indeed be moving upwards. Although, I do have to say, and this has been on my mind for a while, the fact that Saudi Arabia is pushing forward with plans to invest in their league with tons and tons of money, bringing in players from all over the world with lump sums, reminds me of what Italy used to be in terms of how capable and financially well structured its league was, the appeal and the pull factor that Italian football had back in the day, 90s and early 2000s and so on, was elite. And it saddens me that that has shifted. I'm not sure if you guys have seen IFTV actually shared what Silvio Berlusconi said in 2007, I believe, about the evolution of Italian football. And his words were spot on in every sense. He even mentioned the Arab nations particularly, talked about how they were building cities in deserts and how their money and investments would trump Italian football because there's no investment going on in Italy in terms of football, in terms of the league, that Italy is going to be left behind. And that is technically what has happened. However, I do believe and would like to believe that this is a bright spot in a hopeful future that could present itself with more potential than that which has been lost. And that's what I have to say on the matter. I really hope that Serie A keeps moving upwards. I really do. I love Italian football. I'm sure everyone who watches football in terms of, top leagues in Europe in general, if you watch Liga, forget Liga for now, with all due respect to them, if you watch the Premier League, if you watch the Bundesliga, La Liga, you've probably dipped your toes into Italian football every once in a while. And honestly, it is worth watching. And I really hope that it keeps moving forward onto better days. And that's all I have to say on the matter. Thank you once again for tuning in, for watching this video. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And hit that bell notifications button because I upload on a daily basis, as you can see. And I will see you next time the whistle blows. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for watching.